If you only knew the power of the dark side, it is your destiny.
Hello everyone, this is Take the Gate. It is September 20th, 2014, and I'm bringing you a story that was found on WDRB.com, and it takes place in Louisville. It was recorded, or actually written on September 3rd, 2014, and the title is 9-Year-Old Calls Police on Neighbor for Racist, Terroristic Threats to Family. If you go down here, you can see the gentleman right here by the name of Douglas Pointer, and he stands accused of his loathing for his Hispanic neighbors. And I reread you this. It says that the Louisville Metro Police said that they've arrested a man who terrorized his Hispanic neighbors. According to an arrest warrant, the trouble started on August 31st on Lips Lane off Preston Highway. Police say that a Hispanic man arrived home with his family, noticed that the 51-year-old Pointer had painted the words "KKK wants you to burn" on the side of the fence facing their house. Pointer had erected a cross with the words "burn" written underneath it, police say. According to the arrest warrant, he was standing in the yard covered in paint when the family arrived. When they asked him, "Why would you do this?" he swore at them, yelling, "F you, F immigrants." He started threatening and saying that he said the first chance he gets, he's going to shoot you. And he started pointing a shotgun out the window, said Jesus Alamo. And police say that Pointer then swung his fist at Alamo, who pushed him back. The victim's 9-year-old stepdaughter then said that she was going to call the police. Pointer went inside the home, came out with a shotgun. Push, then shotgun. Pointing it at the father, Alamo, who was holding his 22-month-old son, so he pointed it at a baby, an infant. Mr. Pointer is accused of doing this. When police arrived a short time later, they allegedly saw that he was drunk. The next day, on September 1st, the family came outside their home and detected a stench of gasoline. They noticed a puddle on the porch of gas, and the father then told his family to get out onto the patio, but they allegedly noticed that the gasoline on a rubber mat outside the door as well. And when they attempted to exit from the laundry room, they found another puddle of gasoline, the warrant says. They decided to call police, so this person had evidently, or someone related to him, poured gasoline at all the exits of this house, besides the windows, to prevent escape from a fire that could have been set at some point in time, or as a warning to try to intimidate them to leave their community. While they were waiting for officers to arrive, Pointer allegedly walked out of his home with a shotgun and began waving it around, pointing it at the father, saying, "Sooner or later you're going to die, you and your family," issuing death threats, allegedly. Police say that they arrived a short time later, saw Pointer with a gun, and drew their weapons. They didn't shoot. Isn't that curious? But ultimately advised that the victim's family to file a complaint, a criminal complaint, a complaint against someone basically threatening you, is going to solve the issue. Including one incident in which Pointer walked into his family's home without being invited. So this person walked into his neighbor's house without an invitation, which is called breaking and entering. It says here that the police say that the man's 12-year-old twins and a 22-month-old terrified Pointer. An arrest warrant was issued on September 2nd, and he was arrested later that afternoon, charged with criminal trespassing, attempted arson, terroristic threatening, wanton endangerment, harassment, and menacing. No word about a hate crime. In court, he shook his head as court officials described what he's accused of doing. He was released on $10,000 bond, which is $2,000 that you have to come up with, apparently. He says here that Alamo was alerted by the automated messages that were speaking to him, and he says, "I felt like I am in some kind of danger to call authorities," Alamo said, describing what the messages told him. While the neighbor described Pointer as friendly, Alamo says that hasn't been the case for this family, and in the past few months. With family nearby, he doesn't have plans to move. He says he's hoping the harassment will stop. "Don't even look at me, don't look at my kids," Alamo said when he's speaking about his neighbor. "We tried to reach out to Pointer," it says here, they said, but he wasn't home, and he was told not to have contact with this family. So, evidently, they have a restraining order against him. So, apparently the police are also involved in protecting this person for whatever reason. He must have connections to either politicians, law enforcement, or business affiliates in Louisville, Kentucky.
Still be seen on part of this fence in Okolona, but Jesus Alamo says what was written here Sunday afternoon outside of his Lips Lane home was hard to miss.
Terrorized with words, then gasoline poured outside his home. As WDRB's Tamara Evans tells us, a Louisville man claims that happened this week, and the neighbor is now behind bars. Tamara.
So I'm going to leave a link to this in the description below. This is Take the Gate. Thank you for watching. Signing out.